everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the fourth and final part of my favorites for 2022. So I could not do just one conclusive list of favorites because everything that I read I feel like is so different. So part one was a romance women's fiction, part two was thrillers, part three was nonfiction, and today part four is going to be my favorite middle grade. So as a 30-something-year-old lady, I don't read a ton of middle grade by myself just because I have a almost 5-year-old daughter who is a huge reader and a bookworm, and I love it. And so we read a lot together, and like a lot. I think we read like 70 or 80 books together, like chapter books over 2022. And so these are just some of my favorites. Most of these, two of them actually I read like just for myself, and then the other 8, because this is a top 10. So the other 8 I read with my daughter, and most of them are series. So let's just talk about it. So let's get into it. The first one is Freddie's Amazing Bakery by Harriet Whitehorn, I believe. This is like a British, it's like the Great British Bake Off in middle grade form. It is so good. It is about this young boy named Freddie. He's got this bake shop, which he's like a kid who owns a bake shop, but whatever. And there is it's a 4-book series all about his bake shop, his rival bake shop, and like just it's so sweet. It's Great British Bake Off. It is so good. We actually read it twice because she loves it so much, and so do I. Next is Mayhem by Kara West. These are, it's an ongoing series that I think is 12 books. The 12th just came out this summer. And so Mia is a young girl who discovers one day that she is a superhero. So her mom and dad are like, hey, we've been keeping this secret. We're both superheroes. So are you. You're going to start going to this academy after school, and you're going to learn to be a superhero. So in this world, I guess, but everyone has like a superhero. Well, not everyone, but everyone that is a part of this superhero world has like a specific ability, and Mia has to discover what hers is. And so we meet like some of the friends that she meets there at the academy, as well as the friends she has in real life. And it's so good. And Mia is such a sweet, strong character. I love her as a role model for my girls. Next is Zoe and Sassafras by Asia Citro. So Zoe is a young girl who is a scientist, and her mom is a scientist, and so she's very into science. And every book, a mythical creature of some sort comes to her barn door and needs help. And so Zoe has to figure out, with the help of her cat Sassafras, how to make it work and how to figure out the solutions. And it's a lot about like the scientific process and hypotheses and all that kind of stuff. So really great language for elementary school kids learning how to do the scientific process. Next is one that I read by myself, and that's Starfish by Lisa Fipps. So this is about a young girl who is bullied relentlessly for her size. She is overweight, and she just can't catch a break. And the biggest bully is like her mother. And this book was so heartbreaking. And the whole concept of being a starfish is swimming and spreading yourself out and being as big as you can be and taking up as much space as you can possibly take up, because you are worth taking up that much space, and your worth has nothing to do with the amount of space you take up. And I wanted the dad to protect her more. I wanted grown-ups in her life to protect her more, because by golly, this girl just, it was so realistic too, which is heartbreaking. Like the author said, all of this, like, yes, it didn't necessarily happen all at once like it did for this little girl, but like all of the things had happened to our author in her life. And it's heartbreaking. It's sickening. It's just the worst. And so this is a very empowering book, but also a very heartbreaking one. Tread with caution. Next is The Culdesac Kids by Beverly Lewis. So this is a Christian-based series for young readers. And you guys, I think most of these series have been recommended by you. We started on 1 or 2, and then you guys have given me recommendations that I've just been in love with. So this one is like an 18-book series or something crazy, and we're on 12 or 13. And this is about a group of kids that all live on a cul-de-sac. So every book follows a different kid, and a lot of them are actually like single kid families, which is really interesting. The one that is not is a 2-kid family that then they adopt 2 kids. So there's a 4-kid family, so there's adoption, there's divorce, there's a lot of hard topics discussed all within the realm of these Culdesac Kids who all have each other's back, and it's super sweet. Like I said, it is like a Christian worldview. It's not shoved down your throat, but God is mentioned throughout. So if that's a plus, then definitely pick these up. If it's not, then maybe steer clear. But I've liked some more than the others, but in general, this is a really good series. Next is The Babysitters Club Little Sisters by Ann and Martin. So everybody has heard of The Babysitters Club. The reprise of The Babysitters Club is like just giving me life. I love it. I read a lot, if not all, of The Babysitters Club when I was a young girl, but I never read Little Sisters. And so my daughter and I started reading Babysitters Club, but she's just too young for it because the girls are 12 and 13 when the series starts, and it was just a lot of things that are beyond her understanding. But The Little Sisters is about Christy, the founder of the Babysitters Club. It's her little sister, and she's like 6 or 7 when the book starts, so it's perfect for my daughter. And we are 14 books in or something. It's its own like 100-book series, and we're, I think, 14 books in, and Karen is who you follow, and she's a little bit of a brat, so if you don't like kind of unlikable, bratty main characters, maybe skip this one. But I feel like there's a lot of good life lessons, and Karen reacts poorly to a lot of things that then allow us to discuss them, and they're really quick to eat and easy to read. I highly recommend them. And it'll be such a fun transition then when we can transition into the Babysitters Club. Next is Gooney Bird Greene by Lowry. So I feel like this is an oldie but a goodie. And this is about a young girl named Gooney Bird Greene who is very eccentric and very confident in her quirkiness. And I love her. And she walks in, she's a new girl in the first book, and she walks in with this like swagger and confidence that then makes everybody else be like, she knows her stuff. Let's listen to her. And just that, walking into a room knowing that you're the coolest person in the room, I think that is such a fun attitude to watch. And she starts giving daily talks in her class, and it's so good. I love Gooney Bird. I don't own them, so we have not read them all because these ones that I own are really convenient for when we pick them up. And when we finish another, it's right there waiting. So I need to own some more of those because they are great. Next is Greetings from Somewhere by Harper Parrish. So this one I've been talking a lot about. You guys you're probably sick of me talking about it, but it is about 2 twins. I can't remember how old they are, but upper 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. And their mom is a travel journalist, and she says, hey, we're going to leave our little tiny hometown for a year, and we're going to go travel the world. And their dad homeschools them. So somebody recommended it to me because of the homeschool rep, but they go on these adventures, and every book is a new place, and you get to learn about the place that they are, in just small amounts. You don't learn a ton. It's not overwhelming, but it's enough to introduce that place to the kiddos. And then there's also a mystery in every one that they kind of solve. So it's so great. I highly recommend. We have read, it's a 10-book series. We just finished them all. So I'm bummed that we, have not, we don't have any more, but they're very good. Next is Nancy Clancy chapter books. So if you guys have Fancy Nancy fans, there's chapter books. I don't know if you know that, but there's chapter books. I think there's 8 of them, and we read them all, and we are Fancy Nancy fans, and just embracing Fancy Nancy. She's another eccentric character that embraces it, and it's fun. They're fun books. And then last is another one I read by myself. It is a graphic novel actually called When Stars Are Scattered by Omar, Mohamed, and Victoria Jamieson. So Victoria Jamieson, she is a well-known graphic novel artist, and she does great work. And this is about a young boy and his little brother who are refugees from Somalia. They live in this refugee camp basically by themselves. They don't know where their mother is. And the older one, the main character, gets the opportunity to go to school, and he's really torn between his familial responsibilities and going to school to better himself. And it is written. It's a memoir. It's a nonfiction memoir, and it just is very impactful. And really lets you step out of yourself in your very privileged life and realize how hard it is for people. And just, oh, it was touching. It was so good. So those are my 10 favorite middle grade books. Let me know if you have read any of these. Let me know if you have any recommendations. Like I said, my daughter she'll be 5 here in about a week, and she is a very mature 5, a very bookish 5. So if you've got any like early to middle grade recommendations, let me know, because we are always looking for more. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.